got some nice long hair, and you know that she's a bad chick. All the boys stare, can't help it, it's a habit. Clothes that she wears, short skirt and a jacket. I just wanna get her all alone on a mattress. I just gotta have it. Rumors all around say her body is fantastic. All natural, not a piece of fur is plastic. Headed to her toes, yeah, they say that she's a latch. Yeah, the whispers all around say she has a reputation. Don't believe it till I see it, so I want a demonstration. And I've always learned it better with a hands-on education. So I need a private session if you get what I am saying. And they say that she's not easy, no, she's really complicated. But that only makes it better, and it's got me so fixated. And I'm not the type to wait around, I've never hesitated. But she's got me captivated, so the game, I'm gonna play it, yeah. Got a body like a gold thing. She likes to keep the party going. These rumors got me feeling lonely. I want that body.
And Vesta is this asteroid that is dealing with the internal. So this is this spark, this flame of passion, of desire that is joining in here with Venus, bridging the gap, bringing these two energies back into alignment and synchronicity in this space instead of dividing, right? We do a lot of dividing in Gemini where we split up the energy into this dual nature. And this is the lower vibration of Gemini. At the higher vibration, it is bridging the gap, bringing these energies together, bringing them into cooperation. With that, something's going to happen, or are you going to actually express yourself and make your talents and abilities known? And so there's a lot here with this Gemini energy of properly communicating and restart a new cycle of relationships. But with Saturn retrograde here, inspired by what is the dream, what is the vision? And so if we're living wholeheartedly in ourselves, that we can work this out, that we can deal with these relationship issues, and for some of us into new relationships that we're afraid of, and for some of us even to let go of old toxic relationships that no longer serve us, then we are in trouble. And so keep in mind, what is it that you're believing in? What is it that you are putting your mind into at this point? Is this something that is beneficial to you, or is this something that is actually toxic that is holding you back? A lot of internal work that needs to be done here with this Venus retrograde, as we're talking about relationships and we're talking about true love and expression. But can you do that for yourself first? Because remember that a retrograde is a big review time of need to work on. And so this is major, right? Before we can look outside of us, look within and look at how are we addressing our relationships? How are we relating to ourselves, right? Are we in this place of negative self-talk? Are we in this place of tearing ourselves down, of holding back from actually fully communicating, expressing, and integrating ourselves fully into a loving connection, which is that lower octave of Virgo, right? Remember, we have this vertex in Virgo. And so a big question here is, what are we adjusting? Because this is a fated encounter that is dealing with adjusting, that is dealing with improving upon our connections. And so what are we going to work on? And with Mars coming into the conjunction with Ceres, which is also in Pisces, right? This Ceres in Pisces is all about how we are nurturing ourselves, right? This Ceres energy is all about this nurturing. With this opposition that we're seeing, there is a major block here of holding ourselves back from true connection and true commitment in our lives. That is this fear of how we're going to show up, of this Chiron and Aries, this fear of our identity, this fear of ourselves. How are we going to present ourselves? How are we going to look? This is a big question that is coming. And this is affecting us big time. But we don't fully understand this with Lilith in the picture, in the conjunction, that actually our true desires are to fully be who we are and fully express who we are in order to wholeheartedly step into this love and connection that we are truly seeking. And so this fear of how we're going to come off to others, how others are going to see us, is a false illusion that is actually holding us back from what we truly want to experience. And so a lot of work that needs to be done here, and with this moon in Aquarius, there is this feeling of wanting to disconnect, especially as it's in a conjunction with Saturn. But notice that it's also in a conjunction with Pallas Athena, where the solution here is actually to connect, to come into a space of unity, of true communication, of true expression, of truly thinking things over in a logical way. So a lot of air energy that's going on here that's trying to help us big time in farming these connections with others. And so, are we going to actually come into this space of true connection in our lives? This is a big question that is coming up here. And with this moon in Aquarius, there is the negative side of disconnect and detach from our feelings completely. Or there's this positive side where we can actually connect with others, find the clarity that we are truly looking for. And remember that with that Uranus in Taurus still, and the sun is finishing out here in Taurus as well. But this Uranus in Taurus is breaking down our old sense of security. And so there's a big reason why we are here in this situation of being afraid of not fully secure, not fully being able to express ourselves completely. Because with Uranus here in Taurus, it is breaking down our security in our lives in a big way. And so this is a major time of really looking. Are you fully secure? Are you fully connecting to what is of the highest value in your lives? And if you are trying to hold on to an old value, an old sense of that is no longer serving you, then this is the time to let go of that completely and to fully step into your true potential. Actually, of the highest value, this Uranus in Taurus is trying to elevate our values, our self-worth, our security, our foundation. So there is a lot here in terms of, are you connecting to relationships that are of the highest value to you in your life? Are you connecting to something that is of a lower vibration that does not actually help you in this full connection space of a faith test? Because we have Jupiter in Capricorn that is also in the with Pluto retrograde. And so Jupiter in Capricorn is a faith test because Jupiter is at its debilitating, right? It's at its weakest, its fall position here in Capricorn, where Jupiter is this big planet of faith and optimism and abundance and growth and experience. And it is hindered by this hard work and discipline and slow moving, challenging, intense energy of Capricorn, which is saying, wait a minute, we have to stop and we have to take the steps to get to where we want to be successful in our lives. So this is something that takes work. This is something that takes commitment. This is something that takes of fully investing yourself into bettering yourself and your life and your relationships and connections fully at this time. And so there is a big question here of, do you have the faith? Do you have the belief? Do you have the hope to keep going through this intense, difficult Capricorn energy of facing challenges and struggles and continuing to push through to your success, to getting to the highest position in your life that is truly of the highest worth and value to you? So a lot that is taking place here in our lives. And I'm going to go through each of the signs here as well. So starting off, those of you who have Pisces rising, this is a Venus retrograde that is happening in your fourth house for many of you. So this is a space of really looking at your past relationship connections, taking a look and really saying, am I holding on to a past connection that doesn't serve me? Or is there a past connection where I can and look at it and say, this was the area that I need to work on and improve on in my life? And so this is a major time of looking at that. And for some of you with this Pisces rising, you're going to see past partners, you're going to see exes that show up as well, right? And we're in the middle of a lockdown, so for many of you, there's going to be past exes that are stuck on your social media, that are showing up in your messages. And so this is a big time of making sure that you're not trying to connect to something past that is not truly worthy of your time and space and connection. Now, moving ahead here, for those of you who have Aries rising, this is a Venus retrograde that is happening in your 5th house. So this is your house of romance, of dating, of sex, of short-term relationships. And so for some of you, you may be these very short relationships that are helping you grow and helping you rise into a relationship experience that is truly beneficial to you. So for many of you with Aries rising, you may be experiencing karmic partnerships that are a short-term thing to help you learn and grow in your life. And so be very cautious of the relationships that you are getting into here, Aries, as this is very short term, right? So for those of you with Aries rising who are looking for something deeper, something that is more connected, this is maybe not the time for you to get into a relationship if you're not already in one. 6th house and this South in your 7th house, that actually, are you trying to connect to a past relationship that doesn't serve you, to try to fulfill and fill up this need within yourself of actually finding this true connection that is really found within yourself? And so for those of you with Gemini rising, this is a mirror reflection time relationship that you want, or for those who are in relationships, it's time to work on that you want in the long run, because there is a lot of this desire for instant gratification, especially with node sitting back in your 5th house, where actually it's a time for you to be patient because there is something long term that is coming for you. This is what you want right now. For those of you with Virgo rising, this is in your 10th house. Those of you with Gemini rising, this is about your image. Big time at your self-worth. For those of you with Virgo rising, make sure that you are not trying to find this love and from other people through the image and the role that you're trying to play, but that you're actually taking the time to fully connect to your, especially with this South node that is sitting in your 4th house, where this is actually about connecting to yourself more internally, connecting to your feelings and nurturing your own feelings instead of seeking something outside of yourself. For those of you with, this is back in your 9th house of experience, of travel, of opportunities, of learning, of higher education, right? So there is a lot here in terms of opening yourself up to a new opening yourself up to a new relationship at this time. Scorpio rising, this is back in your 8th house of intimacy, of sex, of deeper connection, of shares. And so this is really a time for those of you with Scorpio rising to really take a look at your relationships and don't be afraid to connect on a deeper level, right? This is about going deeper, finding a deeper connection, a more intimate connection. It looks on the surface. For those of you with rising, this is happening in your 7th house. And so this is the reverse of Gemini, where it is dealing directly with your relationship house. And so this is a big time of, for some of you, leaving a relationship that is toxic. For some of you, taking a chance on a new relationship. Because this is a major moment where, remember that Neptune is in a square of Venus and Gemini, where many people with Sag rising and with this Sag energy, right? Some of you who have Sag Sun or Sag Moon may resonate with this as well, where you're trying to hold on to this old story or this old belief of how you want a relationship to play out that isn't actually real, right? So this is about letting go of the old fantasy, the old story, the old belief, and taking a chance on a new relationship that is actually going to better yourself. Really want out of a relationship for those of you with this Sag rising energy. For those of you with Capricorn rising, we're dealing with this in your 6th house. And so this is looking at your work routine, looking at your schedule, making sure that what you are working on is what you actually love to do, right? And this is very difficult for you who are wanting to stay in this mundane job or work situation that is of an old situation, or for those of you who need this older job for security in your life. This is very understandable, but this is the universe asking you to make sure that you are doing a job that you love. And so even if you are working or doing a hobby on the side, even coming out of quarantine that we're in, because during this quarantine we have a lot of time at home to actually work on the lives for some of us. And so for those of you with Capricorn rising, this might be a time to take up a new project or new hobby of interest that you really love to do and make it your work, make it your passion, right? Start to build up a work situation that is beneficial to you. For those of you with Aquarius rising, last ones here on the list, this is going to be Venus retrograde in your 5th house. And so dealing directly and very similar to, right, where we're trying to find this deeper connection, but this is in your 5th house, where some of you may want to get involved in these quick relationships. Some of you may want to jump into new relationships at this time, right? There's this desire for this instant gratification. But remember that with this South Node in Sagittarius, is this a belief? The live stream. So thanks to anyone who joined in. And again, let me know if you are interested in a card, and I will get right to you. Hi, Divine Jewel. Thanks so much for joining. Hey, how are you? So let me know, for those of you who are interested in a card, and I will pull for you. Okay, Divine Jewel says I am interested. Awesome. So Divine Jewel, did you have a specific question for me, or did you just want a general read? Let me know. And for those who are in here, make sure that you're sharing this out. That would be awesome if you could share. Hi, Paige. How are you? So, Paige, I will pull for you after Divine Jewel. So just waiting on Divine Jewel if you have a specific question or if you're interested in just a general. So I'm going to pull one from the Black Moon Astrology. We'll pull a card from the Connolly deck as well. So good. Awesome, Paige. So happy that everyone is here today when we're talking about this Venus retrograde that is coming up on improvement. The answer that I got was yes. So hopefully you can go back and take a look at that card pull if you missed it. And Anna, let me know if you are interested in a card pull as well. Okay, awesome. So, Anna, let me know if you had a specific question or if you like a general read. Yeah, Divine Jewel, someone said that the feed was buffering, so it looks like we have a little bit of a lag in the feed. So if you go back, I did pull for you, and the answer that I got, so hopefully you can find that. If not, I will get back to you. So general for Anna, awesome. So from the Black Moon Astrology deck, I'm getting 11th House Friends in reverse. I'm going to pull from the Connolly Tarot deck as well. And for all of those who are joining in, make sure that you are sharing this out. That would be awesome if you could share this out. So 3 cards came up here from the Connolly Tarot deck. I'm getting the 3 of Cups in reverse, very similar to that Friends card. Getting the 4 of Pentacles and the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. And so there's a connection here that needs to be cleared out, that is no longer of value to you. And so for you, whether this is a friendship or this is a past relationship connection, there's something big time that needs to be cleared out here for you, and to truly ground yourself and to come into a position where everything in your life is in alignment with you. So there is some clearing that needs to be done here. Anna says, oh, I have cut off fake people, told them I don't want to reconcile. Okay, awesome. That makes sense. So make sure that you are not contacting them. If they are contacting you, blocking them, making sure that the connection is completely cleared out there. That is the message that I'm getting there. So anyone else who is interested in a card pull, let me know. And I will get a short meditation for this Venus Retrograde. And then I will pull a card for the collective for anyone who missed out. And I'm logging off from there. So for anyone else who's interested in the reading, let me know. And for those who are here, that you are sharing, please share this out. And thank you so much to everyone who has joined in. Also, if you missed out on the first part of this, where I was going to start on May 13th and it will end at the end of June. Hi, Raven. How are you? So, Raven, if did in a card pull, please let me know. And let me know if you would like a general read or are interested in a specific question. Also, For anyone who is new here, make sure that you are out. Please share, share, share. That is so helpful for you to share this out. And if you are new to this channel, feel free to subscribe for any new content. We're going to be getting into a lot of esoteric astrology coming up in future videos. So make sure that you don't on anything that is coming up here. So just waiting on Raven. I think there is a lag here in the feed. So I will wait to see Raven. I'll give you some time here. But also, if you missed out on the first part of this video, I did a horoscope breaking down Venus in retrograde and how it's going to affect all 12 signs. So if you missed out on that, feel free to go ahead and check that out. Is it possible to, some cards flying out here? So very powerful message that is coming through here for you, Raven. The first card that I'm getting here is from the Black Moonish. This is Neptune Sacrifice. So one of the big things that I'm getting here, especially with the next love interest, is that this is someone who is a humanitarian, someone help. And so I am getting very spiritual vibes of someone who is very much wanting to help, wanting to serve others and help them in their lives, especially getting something very spiritual here. Whether this is healing or psychic work, this is something big that is coming through. Now, we also got some cards here in reverse. So we got the Five of Swords, the Queen of Wands, and the Knight of Cups in reverse. And so this could definitely be a Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, as well as a water sign, right? So there's a lot of options that are actually coming through here as far as a new love interest. And with this Five of Swords, there is something big to say about not limiting of this next love interest that's coming in. And so definitely knowing that there is a choice, that there's an option of who this next interest can be. And especially with this last card here being the Wheel of Fortune, right? You have an opportunity to experience anything that you are open to. And so really being open to what it is that you want to experience is a big this new love interest that's coming in, making it known to the universe what it is that you are looking for. So hopefully the Raven. So Raven says, OMG, there is a Leo and Aries in my energy. Wow. Awesome. So remember that during this Venus retrograde here that is coming up, to really look at what it is that you want as far as relationships. This is a major review period, as all retrogrades are. So I will start to get this meditation set up here in a few moments. Just going to give you all a few more moments here for anyone. Last call for those who are interested in a free card pull. So thanks so much for an out release going into our back, as many of us tend to carry a lot of stress and worry in our back as well, and remembering to release all throughout our spine, putting our focus and awareness on the length of our back. Breathe in, release any tension, and coming into the legs and the hips, that we're not trying to carry and hold on to any weight. If there's any tension, any discomfort, maybe we're seated in a position that's uncomfortable, we want to adjust. Make sure that you are comfortable. And breathe out to your feet and your toes, paying close attention to the balls of your feet and to the very tips of your toes, where we tend to carry stress as we walk on our feet. We tend to put a lot of pressure in this area. Paying close attention to any tension that's built up in our feet. Take a deep breath in and out. Put your right hand over your heart. And put your left hand at the very tip of your forehead. And I want you to imagine a golden light. For those who are very visual, that you're seeing this golden strand of light. And for those who aren't visual, even feeling and imagining that this is here. This connection from your heart into the middle of your forehead. And imagine that this golden light is extending out of the head. And we're going to imagine that this is connecting to God, to Source, to the universe, and that you'd like to give this higher power. And that light is extending up to Source all the way back down through this space in the middle of your forehead and back down into your heart where you placed your right hand. And imagining that this golden thread of light is extending through your heart, down through your legs and your feet and into the earth, middle of your chest, that we call the heart chakra. Now during this Venus retrograde, there's a lot of lessons that are coming up that are focused on relationships. And so I want you to take the time to focus in on your heart space and ask yourself, are you giving too much of yourself? If the answer is yes, take a deep breath in, and on an exhale, release this part of yourself that is giving away too much in this space. And we want to reprogram this. Repeat after me when you're ready. I am enough. I am worthy of love. I deserve to fully love. Deep breath. And exhale, release all that you are not giving in return. All the love and compassion that you are not giving to others. Release. Many times when we are depressed, when we are lonely, when we are anxious, we're in this space of wanting to have and take love, but not knowing how to give and return it back to others. And so in this space, I want you to let go of this programming and belief that you are selfish. And remember that the first person you should love is yourself. And remember that before reaching outside of yourself, that you are fully loving and filling yourself up with your own joy and happiness and own acceptance of self. And once you have done this, you may open yourself up to the love of others, because they will know the true love that is in your heart. And so this is a moment of learning how to give and take in this space. And so I want you to take another deep breath in. Love and affection to those that you wish to connect with. Take another deep breath in. And on an exhale, release all fears, insecurities of not being loved and accepted by others. Release. Notice how light you feel now, with all of this weight that is lifted off of your shoulders. And in this space, if you are in a toxic relationship, I can the issues in this relationship. If this relationship no longer serves me, I can communicate to my partner that I am ready to leave this toxic situation. And when you have finished, take a deep breath in and out, letting go of all fears around addressing confrontation and communicating your needs and desires, and expressing that you are ready to leave your toxic relationship. Release. Notice how your body is even. I will move forward in stepping into a new relationship experience. And when you're ready, take a deep breath in. Exhale, release all fears, all insecurities, all blocks that are holding you back. Notice how you're even lighter now, as you have fully released these blocks and fears of having the full experience of joy, pleasure, happiness, love, and true connection in your life, sharing in this with another. Now, last thing, for those of you who have skills and creative endeavors that you'd like to share but are not, I want you to repeat after me. I am comfortable in my gifts and talents. I am fully open to expressing and showing others what I am fully capable of. I will open myself up to a new project, a new experience where I'm fully expressing my gifts and talents. And when you're ready, take a deep breath in. And on an exhale, release all fears and blocks and insecurities that are blocking you from fully expressing your gifts and talents. Release. Notice how you feel lighter now, removing these subconscious fears and blocks. And I want you to remember that even after today, you can act to this meditation where you put yourself in a safe space of letting go of these subconscious blocks and fears that are stopping you from fully expressing and taking part in the joy, love, and connection that you are truly seeking. Not only with another, but within yourself and within your creative expression. Now take a moment to sit in silence and enjoy this space where there's no fears, there's no blocks. This is you fully loving and accepting yourself. Feels so good to be in this space of true love and acceptance. Put a smile on your face and wrap your arms around you. This is your time of fully being happy and loving and accepting yourself. For some of you, you may even want to laugh. That's okay. Allow yourself to fully embrace this joy and happiness of fully loving. Some of you may want to rock yourselves back and forth. Do whatever makes you fully happy and joyful in this space here. And now, I want you to put your hands back down by your sides. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, release. Remember that during this Venus retrograde cycle, that this is a review period of looking at the true love, connection, expression joy, happiness that you are truly wanting to experience and take part in. And when you're ready, and as you release, remove your hands from your eyes and your... And when you're ready, you can softly and gently open your eyes. So how is everyone feeling after this experience? I'm going to go ahead and check out the comments, and then I will pull a card for the collective for those of you who missed out on the card. And then I will be logging off. So for anyone who's for this meditation, feel free to let me know how this felt and how this experience was afterwards. And in the meantime here, I will pull a card here for the collective. And for anyone who's just joining on now, who missed out on the Venus retrograde horoscope at the beginning, make sure you go back and check that out. Where I did a breakdown of how this Venus retrograde will affect all 12 zodiacs. So you can go by your sun sign, moon sign, rising sign, or Venus sign. Cards flying out here. So how is everyone feeling after that experience? As I'm grabbing a clarification card here for this Nine of Pentacles in reverse. And once again, if you're new to the you'd like to see some future content here on what is going on in the universe according to the sun, the moon, and the stars, checking out some previous videos on astrology as well, feel free to check that out. Make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any brand new content coming up here on the channel. Feel free to also like, comment, share this out with a friend who needs some help during this Venus retrograde cycle as well. So, last message here, this is for anyone who missed the card pull. First card we have here is, and we talked a lot about that Virgo energy in the beginning, where this is a time of taking the logical steps to turn your dreams into a reality, to actually go, which is all a part of that South Node in Sagittarius story of our repeating patterns being in our beliefs. And so this is a time, especially for those who are in relationships having issues or problems that need to be worked through, that you are finding a solution, whether this means talking this out, finding a place of compromise, or letting go of this toxic relationship. Logical approach of actually doing something to make your hopes and wishes and dreams of this fan relationship that you want, that's in your head, and actually making it happen in reality. As for some of you, making your creative projects and endeavors a job or a craft or a skill. Something big that many of you out during this quarantine, if you are finding yourself with a lot of time on your hands of doing nothing, is actually this, which is still here in retrograde. We're going to see this Pluto retrograde continue on until October 2nd. And so there's a lot of really facing the deeper parts, working on these fears, these blocks, right? Even coming off of that Mercury retrograde that we saw at the beginning of the year that was in Pisces, dealing with the subconscious. And so there's a lot of subconscious programming, a lot of beliefs, a lot of stories that we're attaching to that's holding us back. Last card, we have the Knight of Swords as well as the Queen of Swords, that you know what you want and that you are going after what you want, right? This Knight of Swords, a warrior energy of actually initiating and going after what you know, that you logically know, as we're dealing with swords, that you truly want or that you don't want, especially with this swords energy. What are we trying to cut out that no longer serves us, who are in toxic relationships, for those who are trying to connect to past relationships that are not valuable and beneficial to you, or for those who are trying to settle for something that is not of the highest value to you. And so a lot of clarity, a lot of strong clarity coming through here, especially because Mercury, the sign of Gemini, is at home here in Gemini with this. And again, so much for joining. I hope you all have a great day. I will see you in the next video. And make sure to check out that Saturn Jupiter conjunction that we are going to see here on December 21st, as this is a gateway into a brand new world that we are entering into with this age of Aquarius energy of this brand new reality, where the authority and the obligation is in true connection and unity, in sharing love and lifting up the collective fully. And heading into the future as we are shifting into this Aquarius timeline as well. And so are we holding on to old attachments? That is a big question as we're shifting into the... But once again, thanks so much for joining. Thank you all who participated in this live. Thank you to anyone who is watching on the replay. And as always, I will see you next video. Have a wonderful day.